Good morning to all of you on the east side of the world. Afternoon to the evening here on the west side of the world. I am at Miami Airport with my mom. She's to my left. She's so cold, I had to take off my upper robes. Ain't nobody got $21 for a blanket here at the airport. Then my mom's like, why is it so cold in here? Mom, we're just trying to get people to buy more blankets. I wanted to take a minute. I don't think I ever took a minute to address to all of you directly. I think I addressed to my students previous yesterday and the day before yesterday. So I haven't given you all instructions on what to do when I am away because access to Wi-Fi and all is going to be quite limited. I anticipate overseas. I called T-Mobile and they said $3 a minute for phone calls. And so counseling sessions will probably have to move over to Facebook Messenger or Instagram Messenger. But phones got to go. They did say free text messages, but I'm not sure about the data. Yeah. Corporations, they get you one way or the other. You all are aware that I have a digital monastery, which is the Facebook or YouTube. I call it my digital monastery. Lord knows when I'm going to have an actual monastery. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. So, as I am away, all of you who are new or old students, seasoned students, return back to the Four Noble Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path, learn mindfulness of the breath, samadhi, learn the four foundations of mindfulness. All of that was previously discussed in previous videos on my YouTube. So again, YouTube is going to be your library for teachings, basic teachings. What is important is that you keep the mindfulness of the breath and of food, because the more trauma you have in your life, the more headaches you have in your life, the more trauma, addiction, or abuse you have in your life, the more you need to practice samadhi.
Good sorry, was this paging passengers Thomas
An extended amount of time.
Crater, Robert Alexander,
So the mind calms down gradually and slowly.
Ahmed Hamad,
Why I give this recommendation? Because we organisms, the humans that we are, right, the organisms that we are, take a very long time to change. There's a book, it's called The Body Keeps Scores. And it does. Every time there's a trauma, especially trauma, it keeps scores. So I'm using and teaching you all to use the 84,000 teachings of the Buddha in order to calm down the mind, in order for you to achieve peace. We spoke about that many times on my little shorts, little YouTube shorts. And people are like, well, you talk about joining you, and you talk about peace, but you don't tell us the how. Well, I've been telling you the how. You just have to dig a little deeper. So today is a reminder that the how is already on my YouTube for the longest time ever. And likewise, other monks teach mindfulness of the breath. Just make sure you choose a Theravada Buddhist monk, like me, with a robe and the arm sticking out, right arm sticking out. And then as your mind gets calmer and calmer by the days that passes, you learn the four foundations of mindfulness. Mindfulness of body, mind, feelings, and world phenomena. Dhamma. Kaya, Chitta, Vedana, Dhamma. And that's how you're going to progress slowly. And it varies per individual. It varies. Not everyone is going to progress fast. It just takes a lot of time. For me, it took like 15 years of samadhi before the ripening of fruition for vipassana results. That is not to discourage you all, because a lot of people want results now, right? We have this capitalist mindset. We have this right now type of mindset. And we get discouraged when we close our eyes and we're like, well, how come I
Dean
don't look
Kuyan
like that monk or
An,
feel like that
Amana
monk or feel like that
Malisay,
person?
Joseph
How
Torres,
come they seem
Saavedra
happy after
Cardinal,
meditating?
Cordio
Um,
Suban, Miranda
so
Peters, Supar
results
Mohammed,
vary per
and
individual,
Shabrul Yamini.
no
Please
different
proceed
than
to gate
in the field of
E23 for
medicine.
package verification.
But in summary, I don't. In summary, it all comes to that basic recommendation. Again, meditating on the Four Noble Truths, meditating on the Noble Eightfold Path, that could take the whole year. Nonetheless, the other type of meditation, the four protective meditation functions, in addition to samadhi and vipassana, and then the eclectic approach in interweaving them as your states of mind changes, the impermanent states of mind changes. And as you practice and you encounter problems, it's when you write to me.
The
And
service
this
is
is what I
ready
see,
on
this is what I'm experiencing, this is what I've gathered, and what's going on here. And you have to talk about it. That's why you have to engage into Buddhist psychotherapy with me, so that I can know per individual for you, your suffering is different than Sarah, Tom, Dick, Harry, whoever, right? It's not a one-size-fits-all, and it's a very individualized thing. And what's beautiful about it is you have a monk that is trained in individualized attention, which is a supremely rare thing, because other monks just hold the microphone and speak to a massive crowd of 500, and then they're like, okay, I'm done. May all the world be happy, free, always be healthy. And then they run off to the next thing. So you all need to take advantage of that. Is that you have a monk here that, number one, has done his homework, has in fact achieved peace, has in fact achieved true inner liberation, freedom, and now, tailored to that. I wish you all could join me when I was talking to Bree yesterday, when Bree's Catholic and her family is Christian, and we got this big mess about them asking her about Buddhism, and she's got friends that ask her about God. And the analogy here is that each definition of God is different for everybody. And so suffering is different for everybody. And the meaning of suffering is different for everybody. So we have to apply the best available science we know in Buddhism to help all of you, and the way that I have just previously described. This is very pursuant, and as I am going to be visiting different monasteries from around neighboring Southeast Asia, I'm going to be looking at how other senior teachers also apply their own science, their own method and modality, and the type of humans that is presenting symptoms of the humans in front of those habits, in front of those vice habits, and very experienced teachers. So I'm going to be learning from them and then bringing all of the richness of knowledge, all of the richness of the experience and clinical experience back to you, and to see if I can bridge the gap of what it is that we're missing here in the West. Why is it so challenging to meditate here in the West? Some of the very common complaints. I take those complaints very seriously. When a person, when a human cannot in fact achieve peace, or doesn't have results, or it takes too long, I'm going to sink my hands into it to conduct the research necessary so that we come up with answers, right? I need to figure it out quickly. But for the time being, while I am doing this on my part, I'd like all of you to go back to the recommendation and advice, as always. Keep a journal, measure your own progress. Find a Kalyana Mitra so that you have a wise friend on the path with you. Visit monasteries and often give more, take less. Contribute when you can, so that you feel like I'm doing something to cultivate self-esteem and accumulate good karma. So I think that's all I have for all of you. A lot of folks I interact with me, and if you are tuned in to my YouTube and Facebook, there'll be additional teachings once I get to those monasteries, and if they invite me to teach, then the microphone will be on, and we will have at it. Anyone have any questions, you can direct that to number 1 Vietnamese interpreter at gmail.com.
Namo Buddhaya.
what happened when I don't have my equipment with me. Right. So that was for TikTok. Right? All of you can direct your questions on my Gmail, Facebook Messenger, Instagram. Instagram is really strange. I really don't like Instagram. So I'll try my best to get back with some of you, but for the time being, that's the announcement that I have. And again, it's a one-way ticket, so I'm not sure when I'm going to come back. And depending on the experience of the stay, the causes and conditions overseas will determine the length of stay, and most importantly, the financial aspect. To be very realistic. And then also the other factor is how many cases will come in while I am away in Florida. So if it's nice and quiet and they leave me alone, I can, focus on the monastic duties and responsibilities of administrative duties, and trying to finish my book at 40%. And, not sure how many percentages are going to get done overseas. But if there are many cases that comes in just because the season is the way that it is, or for all of a sudden, it's really fun doing social work. I tell you that. Like there'll be it's having a season, right? Right now it's tax season at my dad's office. And then there was a time where there's a DUI, driving under the influences, right? And there was a time where there's a bunch of divorces, non-stop divorces lately, actually. So I get all sorts of these criminal, civil, family law cases. So as I screen these cases, I'll know more, have more to gather and be that as a factor. But I think all of you are doing a great job. Let me answer some questions here. So I tend to not answer questions in previous videos. The path mostly about teachers and about attaining knowledge, because I'm more interested in knowledge, but you seem to mostly be talking about this. Yeah, I think you left a comment about this.
If you hear your name, please identify yourself as E23.
Sorry, the PA system is going on. So,
any customer coming on American Airlines connecting to Qatar Airways 778, if you're holding a Qatar boarding pass for American Airlines, we need to see a Qatar Airways representative at gate E23 for baggage verification. If you have done so already and we have marked your boarding pass, you don't need to come and see us. But if you're sitting in this area with an American Airlines boarding pass that has not been checked by us at the gate, please do so now.
Is the path mostly about peace, or is it attaining knowledge? All right. Attain knowledge and then practice, and you will have peace. Right? And then you put here, I am more interested in knowledge, but okay. Right.
In preparation for
one of the
boarding,
problems I feel students from the West and Westerners is that they crave this knowledge and quickly and now. However, you have to be patient because the teacher who meets the student where they're at, based on their level of understanding, education, experience, suffering, all these factors, all these metrics, scientific systems,
have your boarding
they
card ready for
try
inspection
to
together with your
direct you.
passport open on the picture page.
Another word would be try to control the
There's
amount of knowledge
3 areas for
appropriate for you at this
from
time,
zone 1
at this
through
age and stage
3,
where you're
so
at.
3 and
This is
4
just like
line up
giving you a bunch of stuff and just that way. But I mean, if you must, right? But if you must feel the need to satisfy your hunger for knowledge, you can visit accesstoinsight.org, buddhanet.net, or Dhammatalks.org by Venerable Ajahn Thanissaro, Jeff Thanissaro. But again, it's 84,000 teachings, so of course it's like giving you a map of the entire world to read, and the little hamlets and the little streets and avenues and alleys, right? So it's the teacher's job to tell you, where do you want to go again? You want to go from point A to point B? Okay, we're going to show you exactly how to get from point A to point B. You take I-275 38th Avenue, make a right, and that's how you get there. But if you try to do it yourself, you will obviously get lost in the mixture of the Nikayas and the five original books. And then there's commentaries on top of commentaries, commentary. Mind you all,
Once again,
there's 45 Bibles in Buddhism. In Christianity, one Bible. You can spend your entire life in this lifetime as a human studying one Christian Bible. Nonetheless, 45 Bibles in Buddhism with commentaries on top of commentaries on top of commentaries being translated by different languages. So you just have to trust the teacher and trust the process. In essence. I hope that does it. You can keep the questions coming in. Next one. Did you give an update on recommend books or starters on Theravada? On what Buddhists believe? The other thing I find helpful is Buddha edu. Buddha is like Buda, literally Buddha, Buda, edu.org or .net. It's free. It's literally got like volumes of like college level readings and it's very much like, I think it's like 90% Theravada. But the previous websites I've given is also help you all to read on Theravada, because Theravada is the source. We are the originals. It started with us. Autumn says, yes, I've been to Vietnam about 13 times in my life. This will be the 14th time, I think, on or about. Do we have any more questions from our viewers on YouTube before I'm going to board this plane at gate E23? I've also been advised by His Holiness Venerable Sarnapala to do more sutta studies and read from stories. That's something I've lacked because, once again, I'm a clinical Buddhist monk, not a sutta study monk. So clinical Buddhist monk, gets the student on the phone, find out where they're at, select proper teachings, apply it, measure it, and then we can. But I got to change some things, Obviously they're senior level teachers, and if they're telling me, you should try something different, then we should take that into consideration. Next question. In America, I know people are afraid of meditation because it opens a person up to the spirit world and ghosts can come in and hurt them. No. What spirit world? What ghost world when you sit and meditate? You think. Let's back up a little bit. The spirit world and the ghost world is for people who are uninformed about the true nature of reality of things. People who were born and raised in cultures that is superstitious, and there's ever seen those houses next to those cemeteries? Here in the U.S., we got a lot of cemeteries and houses right next to them. Why don't y'all go knock on them doors and say, "Excuse me, Karen, has a ghost ever came in here and said hi to you at night and keep on bothering you? When you wake up and try to get your milk at night, there's the ghost, scare the crap out of you when you close the refrigerator door." So it depends on who has prior knowledge, prior attachment, prior obsession with ghosts, or perhaps someone who grows up watching a bunch of scary movies, and then when they sit alone in silence, closing their eyes and dark, it's very dark when you close your eyes. All sorts of psychological demons enter. But what is psychological demon, by the way? It's called Mara, M-A-R-A. And that's literally your own psychological demon, which is the greed, the anger, and the delusion, and the ignorance of the Four Noble Truths. So, of course, all sorts of crap's gonna pop up based on your addiction, trauma, and abuse in your life. But in regards to actual spirits and ghosts jumping into your brain and dancing around and singing Kumbaya, no, never heard of it. Never seen it in my 18 years of clinical experience. There are mostly Mahayana Buddhist temples in my area where I get the same experience as in the Theravada temple. So Mahayana, they do a lot of prostrating, a lot of chanting. So would not be the same experience as Theravada temples. No, not 100%. Everyone's scrambling, running around right now. So I think I'm going to wrap this up right now. again, visit Theravada temples if you can, or look up Yuta Tummo or the Urban Buddhist monk on YouTube, which is Venerable Sanapala. I just visited him. Yuta Tummo Bhikkhu, Jeff Danisaro. These are some of the Theravadan monks and the way how they run things and give instructions. You all can get a good idea of how Theravadans do things. And if you're quite inspired by Theravadan way of life and way of practice, I invite you all visit I've like 1,000 videos to you all, so you all can see how we set the tone, how we teach, our modality of teaching, our style, nature, disposition, and the personalities of each monk. So I'd like to it's getting really hectic, especially in front of me. You guys cannot see it, and I can't really rotate because the phone will fall off. But everyone's getting geared up to go in, and I gotta go pull my laptops out of there. I wish I have more time with all of you, but keep the questions coming in. So we got one more here. Buddhism is obviously among the inner sciences like Hindu, Sufism. What do you think about the other inner sciences? What state is Sufism attaining in their practice in contrast to yours? I haven't practiced Sufism, so I don't know. This tradition of Theravada Buddhism has worked out quick, fast, easy for me. And it doesn't mean that it is, like a one-size-fits-all for everybody. So, with a sense of curiosity, all of you need to approach it with curiosity and see how well it works out for you. Our tradition is 2,566 years ago, and it's been really good. A lot of people practice it in Southeast Asia. That's why I'm going there right now. So, but when I have time, right? Again, we have 84,000 teachings, 45 volumes. I like to also make my comparison and contrast with other, or if I ever get invited to other religion or philosophy, let's just sit there with like 10 days with them. Really nice. So that I can bring the experience, the richness for the comparison and contrast, so that all of you kind of like, okay, that was his interpretation of his experience and how things are. It takes a lot of time, and unfortunately I don't have a lot of time with competing priorities as one and only son in the family, who is also assistant director at the social service office, amongst many other capacities that I hold. But I hold all of you dearly in my heart, and always make time for all of you, and always think of all of you. May you all be well, be happy, be free, and always be healthy. So.